and welcome to Decoding Sustainability Accreditations, brought to you by myself, Grace Greenset, founder of GSI, and Sarah Duncan, founder of Sleeping Lion. Today we're joined by Louise Boyse, Commercial and Business Development Director at Greengage. Louise, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, Louise. I guess we want to dive straight in. And could you tell us a little bit about you and your role at Greengage?
Yeah, of course. I've been working for Greengage since it started 5 years ago now. And my background has always been in business travel and events with a huge passion on sustainability. So when Greengage launched and I knew the two owners of the business, I was quite keen to get involved because it sort of ties up all my experience in business travel and events with my love for the environment and sustainability. So now my role within Greengage is very much heading up the EcoSmart certification. So everything that we need with regards to our sustainable certification. So that goes from our compliances with Travelist to getting our UCAS accreditation, developing our software and supporting our account management and sales teams.
Brilliant, thank you. And in your own words, can you tell us about EcoSmart and what it means to be certified by yourself, please?
Of course. So EcoSmart was built really as a certification for anywhere a corporate will stay overnight or have a meeting. So we're very much connected with the needs and requirements of the corporate traveller or event organiser. And we see ourselves as sort of bit disruptive in the market because we looked at how we can be a certification scheme and make sure that we're impartial, and we have a really strong auditing process, which is why we created our My EcoSmart portal. But we also have the beauty of being new, that we can look at all the added benefits we can do to our customers. So we have an API that links to lots of booking tools that can share data. We have so much data available for the travel management community. So when they're looking at RFPs and they've got questions, could be have they got accredited living wage, how many EV chargers? We can share all of that data, and that's what I think really sets us apart in the industry.
That's really interesting. And can you tell us a little bit about how you break down your criteria and kind of how it's split between the E, the S and the G?
Yeah, that's a challenge actually, because we've just revisited our whole criteria, and things that were important 2 years ago have a lower weighting now to things that are required nowadays. When we first started, there was a lot more around the energy and the carbon measurements. And now it's sort of a balance. We have 6 sections and it goes from energy, water, the building to the F&B, the things they have within the events and their bedrooms, and then to the ESG side. And in each of those sections, we try to do big things and small things because we have a wide range of properties. So some properties are leasehold, so they can't go and put solar panels on. So we need to give them the opportunity that all the things that is within their control, all the things they bring into the property from their procurement, they can really showcase that. And then we've got properties that are brand new that have got BREEAM standard buildings, so we want to give them enough questions that they can really excel in that front as well. So it very much is a balance. But what we are finding, we rate properties from bronze, silver, gold, platinum. What is also different with us is we allow a property to be reaccredited at any point throughout their journey with us, so they can be reviewed and ask for a new submission without another cost. And I think last year we had stats of 33% of our properties went up a badge level 6 months after their first submission. And I think that goes really because we just want that motivation and commitment from them. And I think because we have so many big and small things, whatever level they get at, there's some really good, easy wins off the back of that.
Absolutely. And I think another interesting thing about Greengage EcoSmart is if you could just share some more information about the way that you change and update your criteria to reflect the needs of the industry. we were talking the other day about the fact that, as you see those demands change from your consumers, whether it's the agencies or the corporates, you're able to adapt that and ensure that your criteria is always up to date. Could you just share a little bit more about that, please?
Yeah, of course. So as part, because we're going through UCAS accreditation to get our certification recognised, we put forward, we do a really hard review of all of the questions every 2 years and a soft review every 6 months. And the journey that we've been on, just even if I look in the last 2 years, almost everyone was consumed with energy, the measuring of energy, how are they doing it, how frequently are they doing it, have they got energy plans? And probably because of the things going on in the world and the cost of energy, almost every property now is doing that. So we've recently lowered the scoring of that. But now there seems to be a real drive from corporates to be asking what the properties are doing with regards to risk. So that's whether it's a weather risk or environmental risk, have properties got this in place? And now we've lowered the marks of that to include now these new questions around risk. We also get, because we see the RFPs the corporates are asking, there's a lot more questions around their actual IT infrastructure and whether their cloud is being stored, how that's being managed, because obviously that has a really high footprint as well. And probably that had been overlooked before. So because we see these RFP questions, we can ensure they're included into our survey. So that is always moving forward. And because we have this online platform, it's really easy for us to update the questions, communicate to our community that the questions have been updated. Because they're reviewed at any point, they can be reassessed. It allows the customers to go back in, answer the questions, review them, and get a refresh scoring. So we have a really good adoption of that continual updating, which allows us to make sure our survey is continually updated.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing. And that kind of tech is such an interesting side of it, isn't it? The impact that all of our technology has on our footprint as well. So next up, how do you actually measure environmental and social impact? What kind of evidence or proof points are you looking for?
I think with regards to, well, we do, so we've got sort of a hybrid model where we do the virtual audits online up until they're a gold, a high achieving gold that could be a platinum. They then have a site visit. So not all of our properties have site visits. Why we've done that is to ensure it's affordable and accessible for everybody. But what that also means is that within each section of our survey, we have mandatory evidence. That evidence gets reviewed from 2 people internally, and that gets signed off as well. When they submit their survey, we also have a call with them to go through if there's anything missing before we say what their score should be. And the evidence really could be anything. Currently some of the evidence things are, if they say they've got renewable energy, we need to see their bill. If they say they've got EV chargers on site, we ask for some evidence of that, because we've had, not on our certification, but I have used booking channels before where they said they've got EV chargers and they're at Pure Gym down the road. So we've experienced where that information isn't verified. With regards to the social aspect, we ask for copies of all up-to-date policies, so they can go from modern slavery policy to even the CSR policy, and they have to be within a year period. So we make sure they're always updated. And again, quite a lot of the weight within the CSR section is on what they're doing within their own community, their charitable work and things like that. And people give us too much evidence on that. We've got the other way where they're like, look at all this wonderful stuff we're doing with this charity, this football team, this food bank. So that's lovely to see.
That's really interesting. I really like that, the hybrid approach. That's really fascinating. Thank you. So the big question, and you've covered this a little bit, but the big question, in a nutshell, in one sentence, if possible, what is your USP?
I would say our technology, but also our people. I have an incredible team of account managers, auditors, and you can speak to them, see them, they're happy to point in the right direction, just from implementing to setting them up. And I think while we have the technology that just helps their sustainability grow, we also have people, and I think people like people, especially in something like certification, which can be a bit faceless. So I do really think that sets us apart as well.
Just to give people a flavour, how many properties are you working with?
So currently we've got just shy of 500 certified. We've got about 350 working on the survey at one time. Some of those are big groups who wait for all the properties to reach a certain level before announcing. Our churn rate is something we're quite proud of. We're at a 97.5 retention rate, so our churn is 3.5. It's quite low. Yeah, our retention is really high. So and that's from the 5 years we've been going.
Brilliant, thank you.
That's brilliant. I think that personal piece is also so important in our industry. We're such a people-focused industry that I think to be faceless and tech-driven and, you know, you can't pick up the phone and talk to someone is a really challenging thing. So it's great to see that your people are very out there and, you know, accessible, should I say.
And there is something, I think, when you talk to people in hotels, they do need still some hand-holding.
Yes.
And I think it's such an important part, and providing that is, as you said, yeah, Grace, it's essential in our business.
Yeah, and you've got to remember sometimes some of these organisations don't have sustainability leads, so having that support from us, just the encouragement to crack on and do it, or that there's someone on the end of the phone, makes such a difference. Yeah.
If anyone wants to learn more, Louise, where can they find you?
Well, you're more than happy to connect to me on LinkedIn or on our website, greengage.solutions. We have a whole page on EcoSmart. More than happy to ever demo our portal to anybody. We've got a whole list of webinars where we're showing some of our new features coming up. If anyone wants to join those as well, they're more than welcome.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Well, Louise, thank you so much for joining us today. Really interesting to hear about the Greengage EcoSmart certification. And yes, thank you for your time.